Hey everyone, it's Katrina here. Welcome back to the Rose Herd. Today I'm here with the family. Say hey family.
Hey.
That was perfect harmony. And today we just wanted to talk about like how we told our family and friends that we were moving to Mexico. Just kind of like the timeline of things, people's first reactions to us leaving, the questions that they had, and how we kind of had to like navigate that, and kind of like the emotions that came with telling certain people. So I'm gonna start because I was the first person to tell somebody last year in 2023, sometime before Thanksgiving, after October or whatever. I actually told my cousin first because I was like, I have to tell someone. And I was like, we talk about random things all the time. And I know she can keep a secret. Maybe. So I told her first, hey, Hannah girl. And then I would say Kendra was next with telling someone.
So I told my friend Kayla, she was the first one that I told back in December before Christmas. And then my best friend, Erin, I had her kind of starting to put together some stuff for the Rose Herd. And her naturally explorative self, she went hunting to go and find it. And when we went out to dinner at the end of December, she kind of just flat out asked, hey, are you guys moving? And I was like, yeah, we are. And so her and her wife, Tree, were the next people that we told. And then after that, I think it was my birthday. Was the last?
Was not point. No. The next was in March. We told our brother on his birthday.
Yes.
And he was, I told him, was like, so we're going to Mexico. And his person was like, no, you're not. He started laughing. And I was like, yeah, bro. I was like, I actually already sold my house in January. And I'm living at my mom's house because it's gone. And he was like, why? And, just kind of going through the reasons for that, which we're going to get into a little bit later of how we responded to those questions. And if you've seen our Adios USA video, which talks about our reasons for moving, you should check that out. That goes a bit more in depth for that. And then I think your birthday.
Yeah, my birthday party weekend is when I told my other best friend, Kyra, and we had to get unsobered for that and go sit outside and have a kind of a one-on-one for me to tell her, because it's, that's my girl. And
she came home, she said, I'm not talking to you, is what she said to me.
For like a month.
Yeah, literally for a month. Everyone else thought it was funny though. So sorry.
Love you.
Because everyone at the table already knew before her. And I think your brother next.
Yeah.
You told him? Okay, so you told Uncle Alva first.
And answer was Mexico. Why? I think the saddest part is because his wife was sick, and
yeah, that was definitely hard. And then as little brothers do, he went and called his big brother and told on us. Mm-hmm. And then he called you.
And then I got a phone call like, I heard that you were going to Mexico, and I was just like, news travels fast. Because when I called him, he said, what you come with him, you're going to Mexico? So, He said,
what did you say?
He said, oh, Alba, tell me. Like, okay.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why. It's hot down there.
It's not here.
At your age, it's hot.
That's
like it
heat.
Yeah, so in Virginia.
For sure. And I would say I started telling my clients probably around like February, March. They already knew. Because I'm 100% virtual anyway, so it doesn't really affect their lives. And every single person was excited for me. Like everyone was so stoked. So that was like the easiest part. I was like, all right, everyone's cool, everyone's good. So we just, keep it pushing. And
That's me.
That was you?
No, that's me. So I told my boss in May. We were sitting in my office, and she asked me how the house hunting was going. Like it hadn't been almost a year that I had no house, and we'd sat and found for like 10 seconds. And I was like, well, I was going to tell you this when we came back from Mexico in June, but I'm moving to Mexico with my family for good.
Yeah, that trip we took in June, that wasn't a vacation.
We hadn't even gone yet. And her, like a lot of people, they were like, what? I've never heard somebody give that a reason for them leaving work before. But she's like, yeah, I'm happy for you, sad for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks for giving me enough time to find somebody.
Yeah. And when did you tell your job? July. Just like last minute. Hold up. Because I need this. Y'all are going to do me. And I think that's a thing too. I feel like a fear a lot of people would have if they were leaving the country is waiting to tell their job. Because, especially if you're in a right to work state or whatever, you don't want to just be like, let go before you had a chance to plan and save. Mm-hmm. So it was like last minute, tell your job at the very end, pretty much. And yeah, I think for some family too, I would say, oh, what about your cousins and your aunt? That was...
I sent a message to Sade to invite her to my party. And I gave you time to tell Sharon. And she told her mother.
And she told her mother.
And they called you.
My aunt called me. She goes, what is this craziness I heard? She said, I heard a bunch of craziness, and I don't believe it because you would not do that. You're not going anywhere. And I said, as a matter of fact, we are leaving, and it's kind of the why Mexico, and you're gonna get killed when you get there, and that was the everybody pretty much. A lot of people were saying, the drug cartels and this, and you're gonna get killed and you're gonna get kidnapped and all this other stuff. And I was like, no.
Yeah, that's definitely been a reaction, especially when people find out that we're driving to Merida from Virginia. They were like, why would you do this? And I was like, number one, we got 3 dogs. You gotta fly them, and then you gotta fly all of us and some of our things. And there was some stuff that we just weren't willing to leave behind. Like, granted, we're moving to Mexico for a better quality of life. It's a lower cost of living. But I would say, like, on the other side, a lot of people are in different positions than we kind of are in, so they might not have the funds to ship some of their things to Mexico. But there were just some stuff where we're like, nah, I need this. Seeing a lot of YouTube videos of people who were like, man, I wish I would have brought this, or I wish I would have had this to feel at home. And so we're like, well, I know what I like. And I know what, feels comfortable to me, what I can live with, what I can live without. And so some stuff has to come, other stuff, we've given away or sold. Yeah. But I was like, yeah, we're going to do this. Plus, we need a vehicle.
Yes.
We need a vehicle. Merida is walkable. They have public transportation. They have Uber and Didi and InDriver. But it's not like New York. Buses and subways and stuff like that. Not everywhere is walkable. And if you're living a bit further out from the city on the outside of the Periférico, you need a car because it takes Ubers a minute and it's a little bit pricey. It's not a U.S. pricey, but if you need to have one round trip every time you need to go somewhere, it's going to be way more.
It adds up quick.
Yeah, and so that's why we're telling people was like, we're driving, we're taking our dogs, we're taking some of our things are going to be shipped. No, I'm not worried about drug cartels or anything like that. Merida's, like
one of the top 5.
Yeah, it's the top 3. It's the 3rd safest city in North America. No, in North America. Yeah, and so I was like, no, that's not a fear I have. I have more fears here of dying. Or something of the sort, and a lot of people have made the trip. There are groups that, kind of instruct you on how to drive. One group is called On the Road in Mexico, if anyone is interested in that, how to drive. Some people caravan, so some people be like, hey, I'm leaving from this city on this date, and I'm passing through here. Does anyone want to caravan and go through it together? So a lot of people have done that because, safety in numbers. And so I've definitely taken some instruction from them to help plan out our trip. And I'm trying to think, what are some other questions that we were asked? when people heard the news?
I think why Mexico's really been the biggest one, and I love telling people why we're going. Even just the basics we talk about, economics, politics, healthcare system, and when you tell them, and it has to click for them that America's not really number one.
Right.
Regardless of their age, race, and gender, they get it.
Right.
But it's always a really big surprise to people because nobody ever thinks, that people who are coming from Mexico to come here and we are leaving to go the other way.
Right. Hey, Josephine, what about any questions that you've received from your children that are being left here? Or even if any grandkids have been like, wait, why are you going?
I haven't spoken to anything.
I told all our cousins. So
That's true. And the cousin group. Yeah. Oh, there's that.
I think, right, some like, what are you going to do? My brother calls me on the sick and shut in list. He's like, how's the health? And I said, the cost of health is health care is different than America. Medications are a lot less expensive. Doctors are a lot less expensive. And so being able to receive quality care, even having, the doctor come to your house, because they do home visits and different things like that, I think for me is a big factor. And just being able to breathe, the stress of, my job and just life in general. And I think this opportunity to breathe has been also a big factor. Somebody said, why are you going? Because I need to breathe.
I think for y'all too, another question would be, what you gonna do for money, for work? What are you gonna do?
I love telling people about the business that I want to start, that I'm getting ready to start, I should say, down there. I've been in the childcare field my whole entire life. And so to be able to do that and to set my own prices, my own time, my own hours for it, and to do what I love, something I'm really looking forward to doing.
Yeah. And so people are asking that because we have to tell them, when you move to Mexico, you cannot work there. Even for some people, if you have residency, like I know a lot of people when they come to the States and they are a legal permanent resident, they can work and they get a social security number. You cannot do that way. You have to earn in the currency of your home country unless you have been specifically hired by a certain country and you have an offer letter, and that's in place when you get your residency, I believe, but you have to earn in your own currency. You cannot work there. And so I've seen people that have quit their jobs and moved down there with nothing lined up, and I'm like, bro, how? I was like, even if you have some money saved, if you don't have any coming in, it's going to be gone.
Mm-hmm.
And this move has already shown a lot. And I was like, it takes a lot to move internationally, mentally and emotionally and financially. It's a lot. And not even if you're trying to be bougie or anything like that. I mean, flights, having your stuff, making sure that you have access to healthcare, because God forbid you have, a medical emergency first thing off the bat, that's your savings right there. So I think a big one is employment. Mine is carrying over, and there has some ventures that they already have in the works that they'll be carrying over and just going, head on into, because there's no 9 to 5 in the way of them doing what they want to do, which is so awesome. I'm so excited. Yeah, I can't think of really any more questions that I've really gotten. A lot of times I respond because it's what I want to do. It's usually my answer. I always want to, and it's time to go. But that's really been my answer. Everyone has really been pretty supportive and excited for us. Of course, they have their concerns. We have our own concerns. But we're going to do it anyway. And so if anyone else is thinking about moving to Merida or, have questions about that move, definitely put them in the comments. And if you've already made the move, go ahead and share, how you told your family and friends that you were leaving your home country, because we'd love to hear all about that. And we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.